Have you ever had a conversation with your partner where you felt like you were speaking two different languages? Maybe you were trying to explain how you felt, but they just didn't seem to get it. Or perhaps you ended up arguing about something small, like who forgot to take out the trash, but it turned into a bigger fight about feeling unappreciated. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Communication is one of the most common challenges couples face, but it's also the foundation of a strong, happy marriage. Today, we're diving into why communication is so important, how it can make or break your relationship, and practical tips to help you connect on a deeper level. So, if you're ready to transform the way you talk and listen to your partner, let's get started. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Marriage Matters. I'm so glad you're here. Marriage is a beautiful journey, but let's be honest. It's not always easy. Misunderstandings, arguments, and feeling unheard can create distance between even the closest couples. That's why today we're talking about communication, the lifeline of every strong marriage. Whether you're newlyweds or have been married for decades, this video is for you. We'll explore real-life examples, share practical tips, and show you how small changes in the way you communicate can make a huge difference in your relationship. So, grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Communication builds. Connection. Let's start with the basics. Communication is how we connect with our partner. It's not just about talking, it's about sharing your thoughts, feelings, and experiences in a way that your partner can understand. Think of it like a bridge. When communication is strong, the bridge is sturdy, and you can easily cross over to each other's worlds. You feel close, understood, and supported. But when communication breaks down, the bridge weakens, and you start to feel disconnected. You might be physically together, but emotionally, it feels like there's a gap between you. Here's a daily life example to bring this to life. Imagine your partner comes home from work, looking stressed. Their shoulders are tense, their face is tired, and they barely say a word. You ask, "How was your day?" And they reply with a simple, "Fine." But you can tell something's off. Maybe they're quieter than usual, or they're avoiding eye contact. At this point, you have a choice. You could accept the fine and move on, or you could dig a little deeper. Instead of pushing them to talk, you say, "You seem stressed. Do you want to talk about it?" That small shift, from a generic question to a thoughtful one, can open the door to a deeper conversation. Now, imagine your partner's response. Maybe they open up and say, "Yeah, it was a rough day. My boss was really on my case, and I feel like I can't do anything right." Suddenly, you're not just talking about their day. You're talking about their feelings, their struggles, and their need for support. This is where the magic happens. When you take the time to really listen and show empathy, you're not just solving a problem, you're building a connection. You're showing your partner that you care, that you're there for them, and that they can count on you. Here is a tip. Try asking open-ended questions like, "What was the best part of your day?" Or, "Is there anything on your mind?" These questions encourage your partner to share more than just a one-word answer. For example, instead of asking, "Did you have a good day?" which can be answered with a simple yes or no, ask, "What made you smile today?" Or, "What was the most challenging part of your day?" These small changes in how you communicate can make a huge difference. They show your partner that you're genuinely interested in their world, and they create opportunities for deeper, more meaningful conversations. And here's the beautiful part. When you communicate openly and listen deeply, you're not just building a stronger connection, you're also building trust. You're showing your partner that their thoughts and feelings matter to you and that you're someone they can turn to no matter what. So the next time your partner seems distant or stressed, don't just accept the fine. Take a moment to really connect. Ask a thoughtful question, listen with empathy, and show them that you're there for them. Because at the end of the day, communication isn't just about words. It's about feeling seen, heard, and valued by the person you love most. Poor communication leads to misunderstandings. Now, let's talk about what happens when communication breaks down. Misunderstandings grow, resentment builds, and small issues can snowball into big problems. It's like a crack in a dam. If you don't address it early, it can lead to a flood of emotions and conflicts. Here's a relatable example. Imagine you've had a long, exhausting day. Maybe work was overwhelming, the kids were extra demanding, or you're just feeling drained. All you want is a few minutes of quiet time to unwind. But as soon as you sit down, your partner starts talking about their day. They're excited to share something that happened at work, but you're only half listening because you're so tired. Your partner notices. They see your distracted gaze, your short responses, and the way you're barely engaging in the conversation. They might think, why doesn't she care about what I have to say? Am I not important enough to listen to? Meanwhile, you're thinking, can't they see I'm exhausted? Why are they talking so much when I just need some quiet? This is how small miscommunications can lead to bigger conflicts. What starts as a simple conversation can quickly turn into frustration, hurt feelings, and even an argument. Your partner might feel ignored or unappreciated, while you feel misunderstood or overwhelmed. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to be this way. The key is to recognize when communication is breaking down and take steps to address it before it escalates. Here is a tip. If you're not in the right headspace to listen, be honest. Instead of half listening or brushing your partner off, say something like, I really want to hear about your day, but I'm feeling drained right now. Can we talk after I've had a few minutes to relax? This approach does two things. 1. It shows your partner that you care about what they have to say. 2. It sets a healthy boundary, allowing you to recharge so you can be fully present when you do talk. Let's take this example a step further. Imagine your partner responds with, of course, take your time. I'll be here when you're ready. Now, instead of a potential argument, you've created a moment of understanding and respect. You've shown your partner that their feelings matter, and they've shown you that your needs matter too. This is the power of good communication. It's not about avoiding conflicts altogether. It's about handling them in a way that strengthens your relationship rather than tearing it down. So, the next time you're feeling too tired or distracted to listen, don't just push through or shut down. Be honest about how you're feeling and ask for a little time to regroup. And if you're the one sharing, try to be mindful of your partner's energy and mood. A little empathy and understanding can go a long way in preventing misunderstandings and keeping your connection strong. Listening is just as important as speaking. Communication isn't just about talking, it's about listening. Really listening. When your partner speaks, are you truly hearing them, or are you just waiting for your turn to talk? Are you focused on their words, or are you already planning your response? Think about it. How often do we listen to reply instead of listening to understand? We're so eager to share our own thoughts or offer advice that we miss the heart of what our partner is trying to say. And when that happens, our partner can feel unheard, dismissed, or even unimportant. Here's a relatable example. Your partner comes home after a tough day at work. They're venting about how their boss criticized their project in front of the whole team. Instead of truly listening, you interrupt with advice like, "You should just talk to your boss," or you brush it off by saying, "That's just how work is." How do you think that makes them feel? Probably unheard, maybe even dismissed. They might think, "Why can't they just listen? I don't need advice right now. I just need someone to understand." Now, imagine if instead you put down your phone, looked them in the eye, and said, "That sounds really tough. Tell me more." That small shift from reacting to truly listening can make all the difference. When you listen with empathy, you're not just hearing their words, you're understanding their feelings. You're showing your partner that their experiences matter to you and that you're there to support them, no matter what. Here is a tip. Practice active listening. This means giving your full attention, nodding to show you're engaged, making eye contact, and repeating back what you heard to show you understand. For example, you could say, "It sounds like you're really frustrated with your boss. That must be hard." This simple technique does two things. One, it shows your partner that you're truly listening and that you care about what they're saying. Two, it helps you better understand their perspective, which can prevent misunderstandings and strengthen your connection. Let's take this example a step further. Imagine your partner responds with, "Yeah, it was really embarrassing. I just wish my boss would give me feedback privately instead of in front of everyone." Now, instead of feeling dismissed, they feel heard and supported. They know you're on their side, and that makes all the difference. Here's another tip. If your partner is sharing something emotional, resist the urge to jump in with solutions right away. Sometimes they don't need you to fix the problem. They just need you to listen. A simple, "I'm so sorry you're going through this. I'm here for you," can be incredibly comforting. And here's the beautiful part. When you listen deeply, you're not just helping your partner feel valued. You're also building trust and intimacy. You're creating a safe space where they can be vulnerable and open, knowing that you'll always be there to listen and support them. So, the next time your partner is sharing something with you, put down your phone, look them in the eye, and really listen. Show them that their words matter, that their feelings matter, and that they matter. Because at the end of the day, communication isn't just about talking, it's about connecting on a deeper level with the person you love most. Let me share a quick story to bring this to life. Imagine a couple, Sarah and John, planning their weekend. Sarah wants to visit her parents, but John wants to relax at home. At first, they're frustrated. Sarah feels like John doesn't care about her family, and John thinks Sarah doesn't respect his need for downtime. But then they take a step back. Instead of arguing, they sit down and really listen to each other. Sarah explains how important it is for her to spend time with her parents, and John shares how exhausted he's been and how much he needs to recharge. Through this conversation, they realize that both needs are valid. They come up with a compromise. They'll visit Sarah's parents in the morning and spend the rest of the day relaxing at home. By communicating openly and listening to each other, they turn a potential conflict into a win-win solution. This story shows how communication can transform challenges into opportunities for connection. It's not about getting your way, it's about finding a way that works for both of you. Let me share a quick story to bring this to life. Imagine a couple, Sarah and John, planning their weekend. Sarah wants to visit her parents. It's been a while since they last saw them, and she's been looking forward to spending quality time together. On the other hand, John has had an exhausting week at work. He's been looking forward to the weekend as a chance to relax, recharge, and maybe catch up on some sleep. At first, they're both excited to share their plans, but as soon as they start talking, frustration sets in. Sarah feels like John doesn't care about her family. She thinks, why doesn't he understand how important this is to me? Doesn't he care about my parents? Meanwhile, John feels like Sarah isn't respecting his need for downtime. He thinks, can't she see how tired I am? Why can't we just stay home and relax? What starts as a simple conversation quickly turns into an argument. Sarah accuses John of being selfish, and John snaps back, saying Sarah is being unreasonable. For a moment, it feels like they're on opposite sides, each fighting for their own needs. But then, something shifts. Instead of letting the argument escalate, they take a step back. They remember what they've learned about communication and decide to really listen to each other. Sarah takes a deep breath and says, I know you're tired, but visiting my parents is really important to me. I miss them, and I want us to spend time together as a family. John listens carefully and responds, I get that. I know how much your family means to you, and I want to support you. But I've been so drained lately, and I was really looking forward to some quiet time at home. Through this conversation, they realize that both needs are valid. Sarah's desire to connect with her family is just as important as John's need to recharge. Instead of seeing it as a competition, they start brainstorming ways to make the weekend work for both of them. They come up with a compromise. They'll visit Sarah's parents in the morning, have lunch together, and then head back home in the afternoon. That way, Sarah gets to spend time with her family, and John still has the rest of the day to relax. By communicating